Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
Today we're looking at a watchtower for our Greek campaign.
Indeed.
This is a typical sort of fortified tower that you would find in the region during the reign of the short-lived reign of the Athenian Empire and the Greco-Persian Wars in general. This type of building went out of use by the time of Alexander, then went in for slightly different designs. But this is more or less what you would find. You got a little bit of early Greek design to the top to make it look cool. You got the wooden slatting, which was quite popular in the middle period. And then you've got probably the base as the oldest part of the building, which could date back a lot further. Although it isn't sloped. Had it been sloped, then it would date back to the archaic period of Greece. Because the archaic period of Greece, the Greeks built, and the bases of all buildings, of all fortifications, had a slope to them.
Fair enough.
Probably because they weren't that good at building, and it was just better if you're firing catapults and stuff at it and trying to engineer. Having a slope might be more beneficial to defence, although it did mean people could climb the wall. Yeah, which Achilles did during the Battle of Troy. He actually ran up the wall of Troy because it was sloped.
Yeah, I think Achilles, mostly stories are a bit mythology.
Well, there is a bit of mythology, but it is an event that did happen. But it's people telling stories of the event that did happen, and it's slightly less reliable than the histories, and the histories aren't that reliable either because it's mostly Greek propaganda.
If you interviewed Mr. Achilles after he read a book about himself, he'd go, "So what's all this stuff about me doing this?" I must have been drunk at that particular time.
He was drunk a lot, yeah. Although it's interesting how he's portrayed as he didn't want. He was one of Greece's great warriors. But he'd pretty much retired by the time of the war with Troy.
Oh no, he didn't want to die, did he?
He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to die. He just wanted to settle down and have kids and just relax and just do nothing and just live on his retirement fund. But he was sort of forced into doing it or shamed into doing it.
His mum shamed him, didn't he?
Yeah, because he wanted fame. Oh, no, not fame. He wanted immortality. He'd got everything else. And he knew you couldn't physically become immortal, he knew he would die one day. But if he did something really heroic, some YouTubers in 3,000 years' time would sit talking about him, making him immortal. So even though we know nothing about the guy, we know he existed. So he actually got what he wanted. Or so say the Greeks. It could just be a myth, but most of the ancient stories tended to be about real people, and like the Egyptians did actually back up some bits, because the Egyptians did comment on a war that could very well have been the Trojan War, and it all fits the right time frame. But basically, the fall of civilization, was it? I'm trying to think of the dates. 1126 BC, something like that.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
And useless with dates.
It was bad. There were 3 great civilizations and all of them were destroyed by basically an army of the sea peoples, all the different lesser nations sort of ganging up together and overthrowing the government. The only one to survive was Egypt, and even then it was greatly reduced in power. Interesting stuff. So this is the tower. That's the roof, and that's the ground floor, so now you get to see all the tower. And I've just remembered I've got the wrong camera stand. There we go. Does that focus?
Indeed.
Yeah. What do you think of that then?
Looks decent.
Yeah. Typical tower of the period does not have... see, if I was going to design a tower, I would have a set of stairs up here to a door here, which could then easily be defended because only one guy could come up the stairs at a time and they can't get any weight behind the door. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could have a set of stairs just slightly over here with a little tiny bridge. That'd be good as well. But
The
these
Romans
guys,
had that.
yeah, the Romans had that. Actually, in fact, the Romans didn't even bother with the ground floor, did they? They didn't. They had a set of ladders to the next floor, so there were no stairs to climb anyway. But archaeological evidence shows that this door here, all the base was solid stone. The entire base. And this door here, they would simply, if they needed to seal the door, they would just put stone blocks behind the door, sacks of rubble. So you could physically move it. Obviously you can't walk around with blocks of stone because they're actually too heavy to move. But sacks of gravel, sandbags basically, and you would stack them behind the door, which would prevent anybody ramming the door down.
No, just wait for it to surrender from starvation.
Which would be the wiser thing to do. Although the idea is that these guys only need to stay alive long enough to signal to allow people to know that they're under attack. Because then some guys would come and help.
Well, that is what a watchtower
Yes,
used
that's what it's for. Yes, the idea is you can see things really far away, and when you see the bad guys coming, you signal to allow your army to gather. Of course, it will take a few days for your army to actually get in gear, get all their equipment, decide who's in charge. If you're an Athenian, then it takes about a week extra, because figuring out who's in charge takes huge amounts of arguments because of the whole democracy thing. They had no one guy in charge. They used to take it in turns day by day. So on Monday this guy would be in charge, on Tuesday this guy would be in charge, on Wednesday this guy would be in charge. Yeah, that's how the Greeks did it. And if it was the Spartans, then they probably had a religious festival to do before the war. So they wouldn't turn up until the battle was over.
Same.
Yeah. Although the Spartans never went in for fortifications. They never saw the need for them.
No, they're too busy sieging it.
Yeah, they didn't need fortifications because Sparta was an army. Didn't need walls. Nobody invades Sparta. Nobody wants to. Right, so any questions on the tower?
Any mill put this time?
Yes, just in fact the whole thing's made out of it.
That's different.
Yes, all this is made out of it. I actually built it over a long period of time, and whenever I had some spare milli put from something else I was doing, or some spare clay, instead of just letting it dry out, I just stuck it on, which is why you've got several different layers and types of brick, because they're done weeks apart while I was doing other projects. Just an interesting point.
Pretty good.
The only thing I built deliberately was the top bit. Any more questions?
Don't think so.
No? I think it's quite a good design though. It's not as fortified as you might expect.
But if someone's good at acrobats, it's useless.
Oh, well.
Just climb up the corners there.
Yeah, you're not going to have that many people in your army though, are you?
I know. Scouts go ahead, climb up, and kill the watchguard.
Oh, what you could do is what Queen Artemisia did, which is have a party just out here. The guards come out to watch the party, and then you sneak in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you could do that. But I like the fact that they tended to have wide windows next floor up. So this floor's got slits for firing arrows out of. But this floor doesn't. It's actually more. It's practically a living room. It's quite
throw
airy.
rocks. You can throw hot
Yes,
oil.
I would assume it would have wooden shutters to go over the top that simply don't survive. But it is quite airy. It's very out. You could look out. You could use it as a lighthouse.
Or watchtower.
Oh, watchtower. Yes. Sorry, I was thinking of the same type. Yeah. Anyway, some of them had covers on top. A cover around the top here. It would be open in the middle because you'd have a fire in the middle. but around the edge you would have a sloped roof all the way around. I didn't bother doing it for this because it would just be more stuff to move around the battlefield when you're playing.
Yeah.
That it?
I think so.
Right, over to you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and comment down below what you think of the Greek Watchtower. That's everything from me.
And everything from him. Goodbye.
Bye.